John Peters was clearly one of a kind.
He was groundbreaking.
He believes in progress, and he believed progress needed pushing.
John Peters really is considered sort of the father of modern nephrology. He really was instrumental in quantifying measurements of things like urine and blood.
His laboratory was the bedside. He did his research at the bedside trying to understand patients.
Dr. Peters really was a leader in using actual measurements in patients to uncover pathophysiology and to apply the advances in basic physiology to actually see how that could benefit patient care in the real world.
Quantitative Clinical Chemistry was a groundbreaking book. It forced everybody to think in theorems and then test these theorems by doing interesting experiments.
He was sort of an early translational scientist. I think Peters was ahead of his time, and I think he was a visionary.
Peters wanted to speed up the evolutionary process of medical progress through medical science and education with federal funding.
My grandfather had very strong values and felt it was very important that medical care be given to all Americans.
It's interesting to think about current debate and recent healthcare legislation in light of what Peters promoted and pushed for back in the 1930s.
Amidst all of his medical excellence, he was committed to healthcare.
It's this kind of breadth of concern for the health of the entire healthcare system that made John Peters unique and established the legacy for the wonderful recipients we've had for the John Peters Award.
The American Society of Nephrology presents the 2024 John P. Peters Award to Dr. Susan Quaggin for her extensive research contributions and leadership in nephrology. She is the Irving S. Cutter Professor and Director of the Cardiovascular Research Institute at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine in Chicago. In 2023, she became the first woman chair of medicine at Feinberg. A Canadian native, Dr. Quaggin earned her medical degree at the University of Toronto, where she developed a passion for nephrology research as a resident with Dr. Mitch Halperin at the university's St. Michael's Hospital, and later completed her nephrology fellowship. She also completed 2 postdoctoral fellowships, one in molecular biology of kidney development in the Igarashi lab at Yale, and another in mouse genetics with the Rossent lab at the University of Toronto. She held several faculty positions at U of T before joining Northwestern in 2013 as Chief of the Division of Nephrology and Director of the Feinberg Cardiovascular Research Institute, working with her mentor and dean, Dr. Eric Nielsen. Dr. Quaggin's research interests include a focus on vascular signaling pathways. Her laboratory uses genome editing techniques and proteomic approaches to develop new treatments for kidney and vascular diseases. She and her lab were the first to report an essential role for vascular endothelial growth factor signaling and crosstalk and glomerular function in the kidney. Their groundbreaking results have been published in a number of widely cited papers. Translation of her group's findings have revealed pathogenic mechanisms and new therapeutic targets for several kidney diseases, including diabetic nephropathy, nephrotic syndromes, AKI, and thrombotic microangiopathies, as well as eye diseases such as glaucoma. Dr. Quaggin has held many leadership positions in the scientific and kidney communities. She has served ASN in numerous capacities, including President, Associate and Deputy Editor for JASON, Kidney Week Program Committee Chair, and Chair of the Kidney Cure Board of Directors. She was a counselor for the American Society for Clinical Investigation and currently serves as a counselor for the Association of American Physicians. Her leadership and research accomplishments have been recognized with awards and honors from the International Society of Nephrology, National Academy of Medicine, the National Academy of Inventors, the Institute of France, and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, among others. On the home front, Dr. Quaggin is an avid runner and has participated in the Chicago Marathon. She and her husband Kevin enjoy quality time with their children Jessica, Patrick, and David, and their spouses John and Miranda, and their 2 dogs, Finn and Zoe. Like this award's namesake, Dr. John Peters, Dr. Susan Quaggin has worked tirelessly to advance the field of nephrology through her scientific work, clinical practice, and leadership.
Please join me in welcoming this year's Peters Award recipient, Dr. Susan Quaggin.
Wow, well, that's a little much to see up there on the screen, I have to say. And it truly is difficult for me to find the right words to express my gratitude. Of course, to the American Society of Nephrology, who truly are like a second family to me, and the awards selection committee, but more broadly to the entire kidney community. As I said last night, it seems really unfair to be recognized for having the privilege of getting up each and every day to do what you love to do, but that's what I've been able to do. I truly feel incredibly lucky to be part of this amazing kidney community. And for me, why was it nephrology? Why kidney? Well, that was actually pretty easy. The very first clinical rotation I had as an intern was on the nephrology service. Maybe that was serendipity. But I was introduced to incredible mentors, the physicians, the nurses, the nephrology fellows, the Dear 11. But most of all, it was the patients I met who inspired me then, so many decades ago now, but who continue to inspire me each and every day. I don't have time. I was given a real tight time limit to mention everybody who has truly made my journey in nephrology the most rewarding. But I do want to call out a few specific individuals. The first, Mitch Halprin, who you saw there, who I met very early on as an intern, who taught me to always remain curious and always to never accept the published word, but to continue pushing to find better answers so we could impact patient care. To Peter Igarashi, who took me into his lab at Yale, a wet bench lab. I'd never picked up a pipette before, who taught me so much, and Peter, that was pretty courageous. To Janet Rassant, a stem cell pioneer who truly taught me the discipline of being a scientist. And last but certainly not least, to a very long-time friend and mentor, and who continues to guide me, provide advice, and keep me on the straight and narrow, Dean Eric Nielsen. Now, my husband just said, you better not mention me, but today I am going to give a shout out to my home team, who have put up with a lot and without whom I could do nothing. So to my much better half of 45 years this coming Halloween, Kev, to my 3 amazing children, you saw up there, Jess, Patty, and Dave, whose first words probably were podocyte, and to their amazing spouses who are now part of our family, Miranda and John. And also, I've been incredibly fortunate really to have 2 sets of parents for most of my life, my own mom and dad, who never found any sacrifice too great to let me pursue my dreams, especially to my dad, who I lost very recently. He would have loved to have been here. And to my in-laws, Marl and Doc. So I want to thank you. Truly, this is the highest honor of my career to accept this John P. Peters Award, not on my own behalf, but on behalf of the entire kidney community, to my colleagues, the brilliant trainees, the many, many incredible staff at FASN and other organizations I've been privileged to work side by side with and learn from, and most of all, to the patients. So I'll close with a pledge that despite being advanced in age, I will continue to fight the good fight. And as President Deirdre Cruz rallied us yesterday, I will continue to work to redefine the standard until we all reach that vision, a world without kidney diseases. Thank you.